Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Baylor Scott White Medical Center and Clinic in Buda. So I was talking to Pete McKenna walking over here, and he said last time we were here there was no grass, there was dirt, and some of you were here that day and you remember we were doing a groundbreaking. So advance that a couple years and we already get to be in an incredibly brand new facility that's open and already serving patients. So thank you all for taking the time to be here today and to learn a little bit more about what's happening here and what we're doing. But in addition to that, I want to tell you a little bit about, you're going to get to do a tour. So don't anybody leave afterwards, stay so you can see the new medical center and clinic if you have not done so already. So at this time, it's my privilege to introduce to you one of our very, very dedicated board members. He is on our Austin Round Rock Region Board. He is on the Central Texas Board, and he's president of the Central Texas Foundation Board. And so he really has a full-time job, and today we told him we were going to double his pay for all the work that he does. And so at this time, Tom BURDETT's going to give them vacation.
When you double zero, you still have zero under old math. I'm trying to figure out a way to do it under new math and get, something. But let's bow our heads and to go to our Heavenly Father. Dear God, creator of the universe, the great physician and giver of all good and perfect gifts, we gather today to ask your blessings on this new medical center, your guidance of the entire staff, and your divine power of healing and intervention in the diagnosis and treatment of all patients who will be entering these doors. God, we thank you profoundly for the legacy and history of Baylor, Scott, and White, and for the pioneers in medicine who built the original Baylor healthcare system and the Scott and White system. We thank you for the vision of the leadership that led to the construction of these state-of-the-art facilities to bring personalized medical services and healing to the citizens of Buda, Hays County, and this fast-growing area. We give you special thanks today for your servants and leadership who have contributed so much in the planning and facilitating the construction of this fine medical center. We lift up all the leaders and supporters and today acknowledge the dynamic leadership of Baylor Scott & White CEO Jim Hinton, System President Pete McKenna, Hospital President Pat Curry, Austin Round Rock President Jay Fox, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Rob Watson, and all the other leaders in this area. We also thank you for community leaders, Mayor George Hahn, County Judge Ruben Becerra, and City Manager Kenneth Williams. We also lift up and thank you for the Buda Medical Center staff, led by Director of Operations Drew Bennett. God, as we dedicate this fine facility, we ask you to bless all the donors who have made this medical center a reality. We thank you for the Baylor Scott & White Central Texas Foundation leadership, Jana Sharpley, President, Chris Beck and Mike Thompson, and all who have worked so hard to make this medical center possible. We thank you for the contractors and all whose labor and skills have built these fine facilities. Thank you for their safety and their dedication. Bless the medical staff and each and every employee serving in this healing venue. Bless their service, their families, and God, give them special encouragement. Again, we pray that you will put your healing hand on each and every patient who enters this new medical center. May God continue to bless the citizens of Buda, this area, Hays County, the state of Texas, and the United States of America. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Tom. And we have a very special friend that we recently lost that we want to show you something today that we're going to put up. Our dear friend Carly BURDETT, Tom's wife, and this was an incredible poem that Carly wrote that's going to hang in our chapel here in the Buda facility. And so thank you, Jana, the president of our foundation, for bringing that up, and we will actually be hanging that in our chapel today. So So as we move into our program, you know we wouldn't be here without a lot of people that made this happen. And it takes an entire community of people to actually get a facility built, to make all the things happen, and to hire all the team that work here. And so about 2 or 3 years ago, we first started with a conversation in Buda about, we believe that we need to put a medical facility here. And Ken Williams was one of the very first people that we met with, and has been an incredible, incredible asset to helping us navigate and determine where the best place is to put the facility and how do we really engage in the community. At that time, it was the furthest south conversation that we had had in our healthcare system. And so we've opened several clinics since that time, but this is our first medical center to open this far south in the state of Texas. So that we're very proud of. And I know that you have an official role here, but you've been incredible to us as well, and also serves on our board. So thank you for everything you've done to help us get here today. There's several. And several other individuals, and some of those you'll hear from today, that have helped us, is Mayor George Hahn. There are multiple members of the City Council of Buda that are here today, and thank you all for all the incredible work you've done to help us. David Marino, Communications Director for the city. J.R. Gonzalez, the President of the Buda Chamber of Commerce. Mandy Shaw, Administrator of the Buda Economic Development Corporation. Jennifer Storm, President of the Board of the Buda Economic Development Corporation. Buda Fire Chief Clay Huckabee, making sure that we are very safe, and thanks for all the work that you've done to help ensure that we meet all codes and all compliance. And Scott Carey, Hays County Judge, as well as Pauline Anton, Texas Association of Mexican American Chamber of Commerce, which houses in Buda, is here with us today. And since our breaking of the ground, there are several individuals that have helped us get there that are within our own internal system. And some of them you will also hear from today, or you'll see on the tours. Dr. Rob Watson, our Chief Medical Officer, Colleen Sunquest, Joe Brown, Jason Cole, and Sally Gillum, our new Regional Chief Nursing Officer. There are several other members that you see here today that are also going to be very active in the tour, but you're also going to see them here in Buda every single day. And that's the leadership team for the facility. And I'm going to call you out, but stand up or wave wherever so everybody can identify who you are. I know you're there somewhere. But Drew Bennett is our operations manager. Brent Majors is our clinician that runs day to day. And Amanda Phillips, where's Amanda? Somewhere way in the back, that runs all of our clinic operations. And so that's the team that you will see on the ground here every single day. And we also have multiple board members that are here in addition to Kenneth, Tom Burdett, which is one of our board members, Joe Bill, and so we thank you all for coming. And then very special guests that are here that also helped us navigate to get where we are is Representative Aaron Weiner, Brandon Simon, Central Texas Regional Director for Senator Ted Cruz, Nathan McDaniel from Congressman Chip Roy's office, Katie Rosenberg, Deputy Regional Director for Senator John Cornyn. I saw Katie here somewhere. Yeah, there you are. Okay, all right. And Evan Tur, that's also Beauty City Council. And then we also have some of our executive leadership that has driven in today to be in Buda. They've actually been here before. This is not their first time, but they get to see it with every single bit of it finished. And so I want to thank them all. Pete McKenna, which is president of our organization. Pat Curry on the front row, that is president of all hospital operations. Christy Sherrill is here, and she is with our foundation and also government relations at the system level. Janice Walker is our chief nursing officer for the entire system. And Janice Sharpley, that you saw earlier, that is president of the Foundation of Central Texas. And there are a few people that actually are helping the building stand up and make sure that it's a very solid building and that it looks incredible. And I want to call them out because we could not do this without our incredible team of construction workers and construction companies and architects, and our project managers, Scott Lyles and Alex Carroll. Denward Freeman, which is the president of the Medco construction company that built the facility. John Grizzle with Medco, and Brian Bolden, that's also with Medco. Lisa Bradley is one of our architects with Page Architectural Firm. Crystal Coppinger is with Hayden and Cohen, and she's here as well. Kathleen Mulhausen with Edward Interior Design. And Harrison Hudson, Kimberly Horn, and also Serena Holloway with Kimberly Horn. So those are individuals that have made sure that this facility is here. And I know some of those other team members are here as well, but thank you all for the incredible work that you've done to create such a beautiful facility and make sure that it operates and that it's taking care of the people in this community. And so, as I mentioned earlier, we're so proud for this to be our medical center that is the very first one in the southern part of the state. And we will continue to expand and grow to make sure that we can take care of all the medical needs of the individuals that live in this area. And so there's a lot of services that we have today. There's many services that we'll have in the future because we will continue to expand upon what we have here. But we always are very open to any ideas or any thoughts that you might have on things that we can do to grow into the future. And so now it's my great privilege to bring up the president of our organization, Baylor Scott White Health. And Pete is definitely no stranger to this area. He'll probably tell you a little bit about that. He definitely has some roots and some history in this market. But as you know, we are a very large healthcare system throughout the entire state of Texas. And the operations of our facilities are a very daunting task to make sure that we all stay on track and that we do the things that we need to do. And Pete is at the helm and overseeing that on a day-to-day basis. So at this point in time, I'm going to ask Pete to come up.
Thanks, Jay, and thanks to you and your team for this for this wonderful facility. Just really appreciate the work that you've done to get it to this point. Today, we're opening the doors to a healthier future, and our first hospital, and this is our first hospital in Hays County, and something we can all be proud of. I went to graduate school here. I met my wife, so this area has a special place in my heart. And Baylor Scott White Medical Center Buda continues a long tradition of bringing life-changing resources that help the communities we serve get better. We're committed to being your partner in health with a focus on helping you be well, get well, and to stay well. As the largest not-for-profit health system in Texas, we're transforming healthcare. When we brought our integrated healthcare model to Austin, we were committed to supporting innovation that will make healthcare more convenient and more affordable, yet always patient-centered. That commitment continues here today at Baylor Scott White Health, Buda. This campus joins 6 other medical centers in the Austin, Round Rock area and more than 70 access points where patients can receive care from more than 420 providers in more than 70 medical specialties. This particular facility shows that we will continue our investment in meeting the healthcare needs of this vibrant community. With the hectic pace of today's world, time's at a premium, so we're meeting the challenges head on. This campus combines a full-service, high-tech hospital with primary care and specialty care clinics and services. In addition, at a time when convenience is key, we're innovating with an industry-leading app called MyBSW Health. It provides 24/7 access to your health information and also the ability to communicate with your medical team and to book appointments and more. The story of the opening of Baylor Scott White Buda is about partnerships and commitments. It's a marriage between this community and our health system. And as the marriage vow goes, in sickness and in health, so as this community grows, we're here for you. Thank you very much, and I'll turn it over to Jay for the next speakers.
Thank you, Pete. And I should have mentioned that the design team and the construction team that built the building did build good air conditioners, so I promise you, when you come into the facility, it'll be a lot cooler than it is in here. So you've got to love October in Texas, where you never know, it could be snowing or it could be 90-something degrees. So here we go. At this point, of the program, I get to bring up somebody that's really special to us from a Baylor Scott White standpoint in this region. It is one of the individuals that has been here from day one of the entire development that has happened within our organization, and has overseen and has really grown what we do here every single day. We started out with, I think it was about 25 providers here. Today we're over 400, and we started out without a location initially, and today we're over 70. And so Dr. Rob Watson, our Chief Medical Officer, is really the person that has overseen a lot of that and made a lot of this happen, and has brought so many incredible providers that are really taking care of all the patients that we serve today. So at this point, Dr. Rob Watson.
Thank you. I keep meaning to get a video of one of these introductions so I can show my wife how awesome I am, but I haven't done that yet. So, thank you all. I want to start by thanking the city of Buda. It's been said before, but really from the time we decided to build the hospital until today, we've been welcomed at every turn, and that makes such a difference when you're trying to take on such a large project. I also want to thank our team, and we can't say that enough. They really have worked countless hours to coordinate and open a hospital in a new community. We've hired at least 12 physicians to support just this campus alone. And then, as you heard, additionally, primary care clinics and providers have been built in the surrounding area to help care for the community. But it's important to understand the physicians, the physician assistants, the nurse practitioners, they're really just one part of the team. So many trained professionals have been put in place to support the integrated model of care that we believe is the right model to care for patients. So I think it's important to celebrate the hospital today, but I would say in reality we're celebrating so much more. This really is a new partnership where we get to provide health and care for the people in Buda. So thank you all for coming, and we look forward to growing together.
So I told you he could work miracles, and he truly did. He got the air conditioner on, so sometimes it's the most important thing in Texas to have air conditioning. So thank you, Dr. Watson. I'm sure you had a lot to do with that. So at this point, I'm going to ask the mayor that you all know so well, George Hahn, to come up and tell you a little bit about his vision and why it's so important that we have medical services here in the community. So Mayor George Hahn.
Thanks, sir. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank everybody for showing up today and, you know, putting up with the lack of AC and the new AC. Hey, we're good. We're thrilled to celebrate the ribbon cutting of Baylor Scott White's impressive new medical facility here in Buda. This is an exciting time for the community. For everybody that's been here a while, you know that population was a little less than 7,300 in 2010. We're now up to 18,323, and that's an estimate from the Texas Center for Demographics. But if you count the mud, I believe we're over 30,000. So I'm glad to see that we're growing, but at the same time, the rapid pace puts a little bit of a damper on things. According to the latest perspective, to put it all in perspective, the city needs and has needed for some time a quality medical care facility, and with the tremendous growth, it's imperative that our citizens have access to this quality care. The opening of Baylor Scott White's state-of-the-art facility here in the heart of Buda is a big step in achieving that goal for the citizens. As we celebrate today's cutting ceremony, we also must recognize Buda's past. There was a time when there was only one doctor in town, and back in the 1940s and 50s, it was Dr. T.C. McCormick. He had a clinic at the corner of Ash Street and San Marcos Streets, and he was actually the only pediatrician in the area. So at the time, he delivered anywhere estimated between 1,600 and 1,800 babies here in Buda and North Hays County. So he was an iconic figure in Buda's history and our past. And he served on our school board and as well as our mayor of Buda for many years. And he actually was one of the first to stand up and push for the desegregation of not only our schools, but as well as his healthcare clinic. And I bring Dr. McCormick up because he still represents what Buda is today. He's a small town doctor serving the needs of the small town. And Buda has a strong sense of community. You can see it every time we have our events. During our presentations in City Hall, we always have this sense of pride in our community. And it sounds cliche, but you know, Buda still has neighbors that help neighbors. We're still that small town. No matter how big we're getting, people look out for each other. So no matter how much we grow, one thing will always remain the same. Buda's small town roots. And Dr. McCormick will recognize it even today. If you stroll down our historic downtown or go through any of our neighborhoods, you'll always see this sense that we are Buda and we are a small town and we will always be a small town with a bright future. And Buda's future and quality of life is something that we all look forward to, and we work hard every day to make sure that we maintain that quality of life and that sense of community. With the opening of Baylor Scott White's Medical Center, Buda's residents now have an option to seek medical care and services provided by a full-service hospital in their own community. This includes primary care, specialty care, and hospital services. As the growth continues along the I-35 corridor, from Georgetown all the way to San Antonio, the traffic is exponentially growing as well. So, I mean, who wants to sit on I-35 when you need to get to a hospital or you need to get to a doctor's appointment and you get stuck? That's just the nature of the beast. So I don't, and I don't believe anyone in Buda does. So with the opening of this brand new facility in our own backyard, we have the option of avoiding that traffic and actually seeking care and getting quality health care here in Buda, making it easier to breathe easy here. I would like to also thank the Buda Economic Development Corporation for forming this partnership with the Baylor Scott White to bring the health care to Buda. I also want to thank Baylor Scott White, its board members, and everyone involved for being a good steward of the community. Baylor Scott White has taken part in many of the city's events and through various outreach efforts has made it a priority to establish a connection with the residents to make Buda such a wonderful place to live. Your dedication to the community and the community involvement is exactly what Buda is all about. The city of Buda looks forward to a long and healthy relationship with the Baylor Scott White. And as we grow, they have promised to grow with us. So thank you, and thank you everyone for coming today. And I'll turn it back over to Mr. Jay Fox.
Thank you, Mayor Hahn. And when we did our first visit here, we also stopped by the Economic Development Office to talk to them about what we're doing. And we continued to receive incredible surprises from them. And one of those was that they also financially helped us come to the city of Buda. And so we couldn't be more appreciative of all the incredible work along the way that we have received and all the support that we've received from the Economic Development Council. And so now it's my privilege to introduce Jennifer Storm, President of the Board of the Buda Economic Council.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay. On behalf of the Buda Economic Development Corporation, welcome to Buda. We are excited about this project and honored to have helped it come to fruition. The EDC knows that this medical center will provide momentum for growth in the region. As Buda's population continues to grow and includes young families like mine, boys, can you wave? As well as baby boomers, the need for health care will grow as well. Personally, I'm happy to have you here as I am a Baylor Scott White patient and my doctor is sitting on the front row. Baylor Scott White Health will also bring hundreds of high-paying jobs and provide a more diverse workforce. I want to make sure everyone sees the cute little wiener dog pins that they brought commemorating Buda as the wiener dog capital of Texas. And we also have Daisy here, the official wiener dog mascot. Mr. Fox, would you come up for a minute? We wanted to present you this officially, but we know you've already cashed it. Yes, so thank you again for choosing Buda, and welcome to Buda.
Well, that is the first time I've gotten a check at one of these, so maybe we can keep that tradition in the future. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And I think Daisy had passed out like at the very beginning, so we appreciate having our mascot here. So now it's my privilege to bring up the president of the Chamber of Commerce, JR Gonzalez, and he's going to tell us about where we're going from here and what we're doing from here, and a little bit about the next steps. So, JR.
Thank you very much. As introduced, J.R. Gonzalez, Buda Area Chamber of Commerce, on behalf of our chairman, Jay Heinrich, who's back there, the board of directors, our ambassadors, and all our members, we want to say welcome to our community and welcome to the Buda family. As our community continues to grow, I think that Baylor Scott White is going to become very, as it's iconic in the medical industry, it's going to become an icon to Buda. So when people go, where's Buda? Instead of saying, you know where Cabela's is? Now we can say, you know where Baylor Scott White South is? Then they'll know where Buda is. So you put us on the map, gentlemen. All right, what we're going to do from here in an orderly fashion, we are going to exit the one exit over here, make our way around to the front of the building.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah!